everybody, thanks for joining us and welcome to the 8th episode of Fight Like the Movies, the tutorial series where we study cinema's most epic fight scenes and implore we discover to develop a deeper understanding of film combat. I'm your instructor, TJ Cencula. This week's episode, Game of Thrones. This HBO series first premiered in 2011, produced by showrunners David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, with stunt coordinators Paul Jennings, Tony Babetta, and Paul Herbert. Roll it! It's my belief that how a character fights tells you as much about who they are as what they say and what they do. Unlike most major motion pictures, the breakneck pace of television production often tasks stunt coordinators with the challenge of developing and teaching choreography with very little prep time. An action-heavy series like Game of Thrones may require the collaborative efforts of several stunt coordinators depending on any number of factors, such as shooting schedule, location, or the specialized demands of a particular scene. Just as George R.R. Martin's cast of complex characters possess unique ambitions and agendas, so too must that diversity be represented in the way they fight. Noble families like the Starks and Lannisters display the disciplined combat techniques of a trained hand. Sellswords, in contrast, expend no unnecessary energy and strike only at the opportune moments. Dancing masters from Bravis stylishly brandish their swords like true artists. The Dothraki combat system is raw and brutal, but not without a grace all its own. In Game of Thrones, we see a tapestry of different fighting styles and cultures with an arsenal that draws heavily from the medieval era of Western Europe. And if your family's sigil happens to be a dire wolf, you may get a timely assist from one of these awesome beasts. Let's meet the class. Hope you brought your own chair because the ones in King's Landing are reportedly not that comfortable. And action! With so many different fighting styles to choose from, we needed to come to the decision of what we were going to focus on for the lesson today. And I decided we'd keep it in Westeros, the battle for the Iron Throne. We modeled most of the fighting after what would be typical in Western Europe. Big broadswords, axes, pole arms, the kinds of things that you see people fighting when they are basically trying to either take off a head, take off an arm, or remove a leg. There's not really a whole lot else that you could do with this big, heavy, sharp chunk of metal. So you see a lot of attack series that are arm, leg, dodging out of the way. One of the things that's consistent throughout all of the fighting styles, and this is mainly a result of the way that the weapons are designed, is that sometimes, oftentimes, it is much more preferable to simply move out of the way of an attack than it is to absorb the impact of the attack. These weapons are hard, and there's a consequence to getting hit with it. So sometimes you have no other choice. You need to block it or you're gonna go down. But if your character has the opportunity to move out of the way, that is almost always gonna be the better choice. We decided we would create a scenario where it's a combination of both. We also made the decision to make the action loopable. This gave us a little bit more flexibility when we shot at the end of the class so that we can have people who pull to the front as the center focus, and we can use everybody else to be in a constant looped battle as foreground action and background action. It kind of allows us to be able to have a very mobile production. When we want to be able to have a focused action that can last for maybe 30 or 40 seconds, we need to make sure that whatever action is happening around this is going to fill that time without having people just standing around looking at their watch or scratching themselves, so that it can always remain at the highest level of intensity from action to cut.
Everybody fights for something. What do you fight for? Power. Honor. Duty.
Survival.
Love. Gold. Grace.
What was the question?
justice.
Special thanks to Adam Kahn, Azim Risk, Brandon Pugmire, Diana Restrepo, Gowrie Hayden, Ken Dickinson, Mark Mazur, Mick Lambeth, Taylor Jeffers, and Tony Noda for sticking around for our after hours shoot. And that is a wrap. The time has come for you to hit that like button. Also, we would love it if you would subscribe. Share this video with all your friends, or else we're gonna have that blonde lady sick her dragons on you, and you've already seen the kind of damage they can wreak. Follow us on Facebook. You'll catch some behind the scenes action, interact with our cast, and most importantly, we want you to tell us the movies you would like to see covered here on Fight Like the Movies. And it's time to get off that porcelain throne of yours, find your way to the studio, and train with us. We would love to make you a part of this class every Wednesday, 8:30 to 10 p.m. Can't wait to see you there. And cut.